Hey all, and welcome to another video. I know it's been a while, it's just busy with work, but nevertheless, this one I've had some queries regarding the Fibaro key fob, so I've decided to do a video on this and also try and work out a way on creation of scenes. So having read around various different forums and different threads, finally I think I've worked out a solution for this. So now let's go through it. Now the key fob, it's been out a while, quite lightweight. It's about the similar sizes to all the other key fobs out there. Difference with this one is it's got 6 buttons rather than 4, and another difference is the ability to have single click, double click, triple click, and then press and hold. And that then gives you 2 commands, one because you've pressed and held it, and when you release it, it also gives a different scene command. So theoretically you can have 5 scenes activated from each button. That's effectively 60, no it isn't, 5 6s are 30 scenes in total. I'm going to have trouble remembering the 6 scenes for the 6 buttons, never mind all 30. But you also got to remember you've got to try and differentiate between the held down and the released, as effectively is pressing and letting go. So realistically probably looking at 24 scenes. Now programming, including standard way inclusion mode, instructions are nice and clear. Just press any button 3 times once your controller's in inclusion mode, and it all adds to your home center. So now let's have a look. On the home center, mine's already included right at the bottom here. Good thing is, I like the icons, is when you press a button it actually tells you what you've done. By default it only has 2 functions by default: press and held down, single click and press and hold. So in order to change that to allow all scene codes, you just go to the advanced tab, scroll down, and here parameters from 21 all the way to 26. Just make sure you check all the boxes and then just hit save, and that way it will send all scene ID commands to be able to use. So if you know you're not going to use something, for example circle, you're only going to use it, press 1, you're not going to bother using the 2 or 3 clicks, then you can just uncheck these. What that means is if you press the circle button once, twice or 3 times, it doesn't matter, it still registers it as though you've pressed it once. So for those, if you have trouble pressing the buttons multiple times but only wanted it once, that's the advantage for you. At least you can turn that feature on and off. It also means you reduce the number of scenes you can activate. Right, there's also, which I found a bit troublesome, this. You can effectively lock the key fob so that you can't do accidental presses, which I think is brilliant compared to some of the others. And in order to do that, you need to turn it on first. So let's configure an unlock sequence. So if I press that, and we'll just choose square, circle, X and triangle, press configure. As you can see, it says wake up. So normally you'd press hit save and it would transfer the data across. No, on this one it's different. You have to do it from the fob itself. So when I press both together, it initiates a save. If I didn't do it from the fob, and if I just hit the save here, it wouldn't have worked. So now I've got my sequence, I've got it set at 20 seconds. I've also got the lock key, so rather than waiting 20 seconds, to just press and hold the down key and it would lock the key fob. So let's just lock it. It's already been 20 seconds, so it's locked. Now I'm trying to press a button and nothing's happening. It won't activate. All I'm getting is a red blip or a red LED on the fob, so it's in lock mode. In order for me to unlock it, I'll press it in the sequence. Now it's unlocked. Now if I press any button, it gives me a signal. So there you have it. So that's a good feature if you wanted to use it to prevent accidental key presses, or for the kids really. So I'm just going to turn it off for now, and I'll press the same 2 buttons again, and it's now saved it, so everything's switched back off. All you do is hit the configure button and adjust the time, and configure button again and adjust what key press you want to do for the quick lock. So that's the button, the key fob, and with all my every other parameter just leave the same, there's no issues, and I've just made the amendments to these. Now the important bit, let's do the scene. I will the scene is included in the download, so you can just download it yourself. Actually, before I do this scene, let's do the magic code graphic blocks. On graphic block, create your trigger. So the trigger is a device, unassigned, room, unassigned, and Fibaro key fob. And then, so here is my triggering device, which is a Fibaro key fob. Here I will tell it what I want it to do to trigger. So key 1 means anything on key 1, whether it's a press, release, held down, double click, triple click, doesn't matter, as long as it registers key 1. So that's being unspecific. So effectively you're narrowing yourself. If you just use key 1 there and key 2 and key 3, etc., you're narrowing your choices. So you can then put a specific button. So shall we say key 1 pressed. So key 1 pressed, I can run a specific scene on pressing key 1. Before I forget, numbers. The key fob has got 3 rows, 2 columns. So top left is square, which is key 1, top right is circle, key 2, X, key 3, triangle, key 4, minus, key 5, and plus, key 6. So that's how it's defined. And then I can press this one to say then, and get it to do an action. So shall we say, I don't know, ground floor, cinema room, cinema light, toggle. What is it? Opposite. There, and then hit save. So that scene is set, and if I go now to devices, what I need to do is, you know what, let me just move this up to the same room. The other thing is reactions. You can actually do quick reactions from here as well. Like I said, I've already created the scene, so it's auto-populated the scene into here. So it's a good way of knowing what each button is doing as well. So let's go to devices, but I'd rather do it from here. It's easier. So here's that scene. Let's just wake it up. So so remember, it's the circle and the plus keys together to wake it up. And here's my icon for cinema light just over there. There's my key fob, and what I said was press it and it toggles the state, and you can see here square because I pressed it. Now it's ready, press it again, and now it's switched off. So that's a simple way of using the key fob to run a device. I could have made this run even more devices by just clicking on the AND button here. Let me just get to it. So here I would click on and then say here devices, ground floor, cinema room, spots, turn on. So I could set 2 sets of lights going on, or 3 or 4, just by clicking all the ANDs, etc. So that's, I would say, pretty easy. So all you would do is create multiple scenes and just alter this depending on what action on the buttons, which key button, and then create a scene. So you can create 24 scenes using blocks. Now that's okay. Simple, easy to use method. Alright, you do have to create 24 scenes, so there's a bit of work involved, and then of course you've got to put all the commands in for your devices in, so it's and this, then and that, and this, etc. But there is an easier way, and you do need a little bit of knowledge on Lua coding. And with lure coding, it means you only have to create one scene, and that's a one big scene. And let me just go into KeyFob. Here we are. Now with the KeyFob scene, it's created here. Here it is. It's you'll get a copy of this scene in the download, in the comment section. You can download it. All you do, you can ignore line number 1 because that's specific to my home center. So what you need to do is, okay, you won't have this line number here. That'll be missing from yours because it's specific to me. Here, under the events, it says 593 central scene event. You would need to replace the 593 with the ID of your KeyFob. So to work out the ID of the KeyFob, click on your devices and go into KeyFob, hit the spanner icon, and here you are. So there's the device ID of my KeyFob is 593. So that's where I've got that from, and you'll need to do the same for your home center. Your KeyFob on your home center. So whatever device ID is, get that number. Once you've got that number, substitute the 593 with yours. That's it. That's all you need to do. The rest, you don't need to do anything on the rest. You can see that I've separated things out here. So key 1 square. So this is if you press the key 1 on its own. This is if you double press it. This part is if you triple press it. This part is when you hold it, it'll send a command, and when you release it, it sends another command. So those are the 5 commands per keys, and I've separated them here. So key 1 circle there, and so you got the key 1 circle, cross, triangle, minus. So the code, as you can see, is all the same all the way for all 6 keys. So there's 30 sets of commands there. What we need to do is under each one where it says Fibaro debug, that's when you add in your code. So let's do the cinema light again. This time let's have a cinema room, cinema light, and we want to turn on. There we are. So turn on. We don't want to keep seeing these Fibaro debug commands, so we can just get rid of that. Actually, let me show you that first. Let's just comment that line out. So I press the key 1 once, and you'll see here debug command key 1, because that's what I said. When I press key 1 once, I want that word to appear, key 1. So if I press key 4 twice, so it should say key 4 double. So I did press triangle twice. So that's under, so if I go down to there, let's cross triangle. Here it is. So key 4, press 2 times, it gives me key 4 double. So I'm hoping you get the gist that each of these codes, every time I've written Fibaro debug, is where you put your code that you want to run when the button is when that specific button is pressed. So let's go back to here. So I've chosen key 1 to turn the light on, and when I press it twice, let's enter there. So cinema room, cinema light, turn off then. And then if I go across there and comment that line out, because I don't want it commenting, hit save button. Now let's go back to my devices so you can see what's going on. And here we are again. So press it once, light turns on. Press it twice, light turns off, and as you can see, it shows that I pressed it twice. So one scene, 2 functions straight away, and I can then populate the rest of that scene with various other commands under various different buttons, and they'll all be executed. Brilliant. Isn't that easier? Much easier than creating 24 block scenes? I think it is. But if you don't know how to lure code, to be honest, you don't need to know too much. If you followed the way I did this here, so type in a command, So we're on key ID 1, triple click, so that's the square 3 times. If you look on the left, you've got all the different rooms and you've got all the different devices. So let's choose the spots, and if you just hover your mouse there, hover to the right, go down the list, and you can just do turn on, turn off, and that's all you need to do. Seriously, that's it. So you don't really need to know huge amounts of programming. Just make sure that the code that you put in is here. The other thing, it's not just code you can change, but you can also change variables. So if I click on, if I just cursor slightly up, so I'm on key 1 held, actually forget that one, circle. Let's do key 2 circle, variables, go down, and let's do let's have a look. What can we well, these are just variables, so let's say temp set global. So I've changed to set global, and I will, because for me this temp is my heating, my thermostat on my Nest. So what I'll do is I'll bring up my Nest in a second. So let's change the temperature to 10 degrees on the Nest as soon as I press circle. So I'm actually changing a global variable here. So just to demonstrate that it's not just devices that can be changed, but you can also change variables. So let's hit save. I'm just going to pause the video. Right, unpaused. I've just brought up the Nest here. So current temperature is 18 degrees on my thermostat. And what have I programmed it to on circle, if I remember correctly here? Circle, single press to change it to 10. Okay, so I've hit save already. Click on devices. So let's have a look. So press it square, got my light coming on, and double press, light turning off, and circle 1 pressed, and look at that here, it's changed to 10 degrees. So if you've seen my other video about sending Nest commands, that'll make sense for you there. So change the global variable to 10, which then initiated all my other scenes, etc., to go to change my temperature to 10 degrees. There you have it. So hopefully it was a short and concise tutorial. Hopefully you've understood it. If not, there's plenty you can ask me on the comment section and I'll answer. But yeah, I think I quite like this device. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.